thank you.
It's simply incredible.
Pull yourself up. Pull yourself up.
And I think
really
it was
don't care. Oh, yeah.
By the opposite.
Anxiety and a lot of horrible feelings.
Did you think that was it?
I don't care. They know me. I don't know them. Ha ha!
Hello, you metal pilgrims, and a very special welcome to all those who follow our Up the Iron series. For today, I'm more than happy to welcome nobody else but Blaze Bayley on the show. Blaze.
Hello.
First of all, thank you so much for finding time and joining me today. How are you, man?
Good. It's very, very cold here. I mean, just icy wind. Nothing like you guys have over there, I don't think. But for us here, it's not funny, man, anymore. And when I'm riding my motorcycle in this weather, and I'm thinking, why am I doing this? It's freezing. And my feet, it's dry. I'm addicted. I'm obsessed with my motorcycle. You know, I do a bit of rehearsing, and I thought, oh, maybe I should just go for a few minutes on my motorcycle, turn to a couple of hours. And then my feet, oh, man, just horrendous. My feet, something wrong with my boots on my motorcycle. I'm already, it feels like sub-zero temperatures. And then with the wind chill, I feel like, my legs have been cut off. And I'm thinking, oh, no. So what I've tried to do is make my own warm insoles, thermal insoles. And last night, I've got the kitchen foil out, and I'm wrapping the kitchen foil around the insoles. I'm so desperate, man. I'm desperate to find a solution. And I've seen these ones online. Oh, this is all right for luxury. That they've got it, and they've got batteries, and you put batteries on you, and it warms up magically by electricity. The insoles of the boots. My problem, of course, with what happens to me and my luck, my boots are going to catch on fire. I'm going to be riding my motorcycle. I'll look down and go, oh, what's that smell? Oh, things are a bit toasty, and my feet will be on fire. So I can't have electric ones. I'm just not lucky enough. So today I had tin foil cut into the shape of the sole of my foot in my boot. You know, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, maybe try another couple of layers for the next run on the motorcycle.
Try another couple of layers. If it will make you feel better. It's raining here, and it's like, this
good.
+1 and raining. It's not
good. I'm so happy to hear that. It's slightly worse than it is here. I'm feeling good. I don't have to feel so sorry for myself. Oh no, my poor little Ukrainian found in the cold. Oh, but we have a solution. Listen to Blaze Bayley music.
Absolutely, man.
No time.
I gotta say, man, your dedication when it comes to riding motorcycle is simply incredible. After all you've been through, I mean, we know about the accident, we know about everything, and now.
And I tour. I tour on my motorcycle when I can, around the UK at least, where the distances aren't so much. My manager, really, with the COVID, we all had to travel separately and keep our bubble going, our distance in the dressing rooms and everything. And my whole UK tour, except for one show, 2 shows, we did the whole UK tour, and nobody got tested positive for COVID or anything. And he said, oh, we're travelling separately. I said, oh, I'll travel by motorcycle. And he goes, yeah, okay then. So it was great, man. And it was September, not a drop of rain. I'm rocking up to every gig. Whoa, here I am.
This is freaking rock and roll, man. This is rock and roll.
Yeah, the guys have got everything set up beautifully for me for sound check and everything. One of the best tours I've ever done, headline tours. Just there, arriving every day on my motorcycle, feeling great. Wake up in the morning in the hotel, walk outside, motorcycle parked outside the front door. Oh yeah. So really, really great. It was an unexpected and very welcome part of the restrictions that we've all had to go through for the COVID. I benefited by being able to use my motorcycle to ride to every show in the UK. I think it was about 1,800 miles or something like that, or, you know, all around, but a lot of fun.
All right, Blaze, and you actually started talking about this, but it's been, quite some time since your latest studio album, War Within Me, was released. And of course, you've been, quite busy, touring the world, although a couple of shows were canceled because you got COVID, when was that? In November, I think. But what else kept you busy in addition to, riding your motorcycle? What's new?
Well, I mean, the tour took up a lot. The preparation, making the album, the promotion for the War Within Me album. I'd done a lot of days of interviews like this, and I don't like to shout too much about myself, but we've tried to get people who have Spotify and the digital platforms, the streaming. We've tried to get people more interested in Blaze Bayley, and it's really worked. We've got more people streaming my music than this time last year, and we still sell the same amount of CDs. Because I think one of the wonderful things about my fans is whatever format they've got, or if they're streaming it or downloading it, whatever, people still like to own the CD, and we do vinyl. This was the first release that I've had in my solo career where I could have the vinyl on the same day as the CD and the download and streaming available. And man, it felt good. When my manager said, you can have vinyl at the same time for your main release of War Within Me, it was incredible, because suddenly we could start thinking of the record as a vinyl album with two sides, like all of the great classic records from when I started getting into music and buying people like Ozzy and Maiden and Priest and all of those guys. Then that was it. And we were going, oh man, side one, side two, what's the beginning of side one, end of side, it was just fantastic. So I got my board up here, and we just worked on that all of the time. It was fantastic. That little part of me, that 14-year-old headbanger that discovered heavy metal, the incredible sound of the electric guitar, being seduced by these great rhythms and big sounds, that was still alive. That is still alive. And then to go back to the vinyl, which, most of us thought was the better format anyway, then it was a great feeling. So exciting to do it like that. And it turned out really, really well, having that extra thing. It kind of took us in another dimension of, well, we make the CD of the, and you've got your 75, 85 minutes. Right, now we're going to make an album. We've got 42 minutes. We have to give people the world in 42 minutes. We have to take my fans on a journey in 42 minutes that says, right, forget about your life, forget about COVID, Brexit, forget about all the problems that you have. Now, bury yourself, allow yourself to be immersed in heavy metal. And I think it really worked. It made us focus a lot more. All of the details are very important, because it was the start of this whole hideous thing that's become the pandemic, then my fans have stuck by me for years through thick and thin when I haven't always been the best. And I thought, I've got to do something, if I can, that's positive, so that when my fans who've been waiting more than 2 years for the new Blaze Bayley album, when they get it, they go, oh, thank you for the new album. Yes, it does everything I needed to do. And that's what I wanted, really. We were very conscious at the start. Chris Appleton, my main writing partner and co-producer, we like to talk through, in the beginning of the project, how would we like to feel at the end? Not what will it be, ... but in the end, when people play it, when we listen back, how would we like to feel about it? And it was, we'd like to feel very positive, that fans have a very positive experience. Most of the lyrics are positive and about picking yourself up. Most of it based on personal experience and getting up from the disasters that have knocked me down in my own life. And my fans have been there, really. When I felt like I couldn't carry on, people have said, can't wait for your next album, what's happening next, oh, keep going. And I've been very lucky with that. So I really felt I wanted to do something very positive for my fans, the fans of Blaze Bayley, who've stuck me through thick and thin, the good times, the bad times, the dark years, through my mental problems. My fans have stuck by me and bought my albums and prepaid my albums and visited my shop online. And I've been so lucky to have that incredible support from my fans, that I really felt if I could do just the smallest thing to help them in their day and get on with their life and the difficulties that they have, the tiniest thing, then if I was a part of their life, if they're inviting me into their home, in their head with the headphones on, what am I going to say? Some fans are going to take me into their bedroom and they're going to have me in their bedroom. I go, talk to me, Blaze. What have you got? What am I going to say when I'm there? And fans, they put me in their car and they leave me in their car, and every time they get in the car to drive to work and back, there I am. And what am I going to say to them when I have this opportunity? And that was what Chris Appleton and I talked about. I said, Chris, it's got to be a positive record, man. It's got to be. And we went through every detail.
And it definitely felt like it. And it has been received, as I believe, by the fans a lot like this, right? I mean, from what I've been reading online, at least. And another thing I got to say, just to continue off before we go on, to another part of this question is, when I announced that I'll be doing an interview with you, tons of messages from
hate mail. There's a lot of people out there, they hate me from the Iron Maiden. They hate me. They're Blaze Bayley haters. I don't care. They know me. I don't know them. Ha ha.
Blaze, quite the opposite. Most of the messages which I received, in addition to the questions that they would like to know about, right, the new Blaze Bayley album, when it will be out, the new Wolfsbane album, if it will be out, and so on and so forth, but were just messages of appreciation of how much they appreciate your time at Maiden, including that.
Well,
right?
I'm very lucky.
Yes.
I'm very lucky.
You have a very loyal fan base, and you got to know that.
When I started in Maiden, then it was a challenge, definitely, because it's like going from the Sunday League to the Premier League to the Champions League, and there you are, and suddenly every concert is the World Cup final in terms of soccer, football. Oh man, and it's so serious. And what is great is the incredible support of the loyal Iron Maiden fans, and a lot of those fans
stuck
when okay, let's see what they've got. Let's see what he's got. And they took me to their hearts. They gave me every opportunity. They gave me a great deal of support and encouragement. All the Iron Maiden fans around the world, most people were very, very positive. And the surprising thing for me is that X Factor and Virtual 11, for a small proportion of Maiden fans, that's their favorite album.
Yep.
So for me, that's great. And to have fans from that time, and most of them have followed me. If they knew about me, they followed me. So I've been very, very lucky. It was a wonderful time for me, Iron Maiden, and I learned so much from Steve Harris and the guys. Writing with Steve, my biggest, most important song for me personally is Como Estas Amigos. And the way that we wrote it, it was just something magical came together. And that lyric and working closely with Steve on that and Yannick, then that's my biggest song. People think of Sign of the Cross and The Klansman and a couple of others.
On the Edge.
But I think Como Estas Amigos and Future Real, for me, they're the biggest songs. They're the ones that they're very different. They have a big emotional connection. And from X Factor, I think Look for the Truth as well. And it felt like I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do songs like that before outside of Maiden. And then learning from Steve and Yannick and talking to Steve about arrangements and different ways of writing and putting a song together, I started to see that the reason why I'd struggled in the past sometimes thinking, this idea is great. Why can't I get it to make sense? I started to learn that from Steve Harris. Well, you take it, you can have it here working, and to get it to work out here in the world and on the recording, you need to have this, and this. And so those lessons are all on my new album, War Within Me. And
I think
really don't care to Iron Maiden, but I have a lot of those values. So melody guitars, really nice, memorable solos, and a lot of energy in places. Things have to come from a place of emotion, of passion. Part of you has to be in every song, and the instrumental is as important as the vocal, but the vocal is the most important thing. And the delivery of that vocal and how the lyric and the melody and the music fits together, that is crucial. And it's something that will go bang, 20 minutes. Wow. Is that it? Yeah, we've just got to get it recorded. And other ones will go, this still isn't working. A year later, we couldn't get it on the last album. It didn't. And then on this album, what about that idea? Bang. Oh, yeah, it goes here. It does that. It does that. And it's there. And it's called Witches Night. It's been incredible, really. But that time in Maiden, really, it's a short time, 5 years, 2 albums. I'm on the Visions of the Beast. And of course, Virus was a huge single around the world. But that short time has been a massive influence on my 11 studio albums. On my whole solo career, everything I've done after that is different and better because of that experience with the guys in Maiden.
All right, Blaze, when it comes to writing lyrics, where do you personally look for inspirations?
Oh, I'm very lucky. My fans, before COVID, there was a free meet and greet at every Blaze Bayley concert. Most of my concerts I've managed to keep to a very intimate size, and if I've sold out, I've often managed to add an extra night. On the last tour pre-COVID, that's what we're doing. I think there were 3 venues where we'd sold out, and we did 2 nights at those venues. It was absolutely fantastic. And I meet my fans, and often people will share a little story with me. This is the album that was so important to me when this thing happened in my life. This album has stuck with me, and it means more because it got me through this situation. So, because people invite me into their life and they take what I do so seriously, then that's been a motivating thing for me to keep serious, to keep the quality, to not be trivial about things, to try to make every song really the best that it can be. Each song a little story among other stories, a journey on its own. And a lot of time I express events in my own life. And on this album, there's a song called Pull Yourself Up, which is about overcoming a couple of big things in my life, big challenges. I had a motorcycle accident, and they said, you'll probably never be able to walk without a limp, or at least a walking stick. And I thought to myself, you don't know me. And I worked and worked and worked, and I got the strength back in my leg. It took years to do it. And I don't limp. You could never tell that, I got half a knee. And going way back, then on my journey, a couple of times, different people, different situations have said, Blaze, you just can't sing. Or another person would say, you're never going to make it. Just face it. And another person would say, you're not a natural singer. Give up and try something else. These are real things that have happened to me. And so in my song, they said I could not sing. But here I am in front of hundreds, sometimes thousands of fans, a professional heavy metal singer, however small, doesn't matter, because that's all I ever wanted to be. So I am singing. I'm living my dream because of my fans, with the support of my fans and the team that I have around me, a fantastic manager, great guys with the Absolver Band. And I've had so much help from different people over the years that I really thought, I'm going to use this in a song. And Chris came up with a couple of ideas. What about this? And things started to come together. And then it was, pull yourself up, pull yourself up. And that was it. So a few parts of the album are like that. And sometimes I thinly disguise the fact that the lyric is about me. On this album, yeah, it is about me. And it's not disguised at all. There is a war within me, and I am fighting it every day. Sometimes it's a fight, it's a struggle, it's a battle, and sometimes it's a war to get control of myself, to not give in and give into depression and anxiety and a lot of horrible feelings. Like, come on, get going, another step, come on, a little step, get back up. Sometimes I don't always make it back up, And other times I think of my fans and I think of the people that believe in me, and I do make it, and I'm able to carry on. So I'm very, very lucky, and I'm very grateful for the incredible support I've had from my fans and my team and the people around me that have made it possible for me to carry on and live as a professional heavy metal singer.
Yeah, and here you are, so many years later, still rocking the world, man. And talking about that motorcycle accident you just mentioned, is it the one that you've had when you just were about to join Maiden? Is it the one?
Yeah. They said I'd never walk without a stick.
Yeah. How was it for you, joining this one of the biggest bands in the world, and then having this terrible motorcycle accident? And did you think that was it, the end of your career?
I did think it was it, but I was just lucky in that the guitar hadn't started yet. They hadn't started recording the guitars. And in just normal conventional recording, the vocals are usually the last thing. So I had this bit of extra time where I could literally get back on my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And here I could still sing, even though I was in pain with my leg, I could still sing. And that hadn't been affected at all, luckily. So I was able to get back. I was just lucky, man. Just very, very lucky. Unlucky to have an accident, but very lucky to be able to get back from it, because a lot of people don't.
Well, we all are very thankful that you made it, and thankful for the music you've released since. I've discovered you with Iron Maiden, and I've always said that I absolutely love the X Factor, and I always will, and now knowing through how much pain you've been going through at that time, this just, shows some dedication. So thanks for that, man.
During your time in Maiden, were there any considerations for a live album? I mean, have you ever guys...
There's always a few live recordings.
We all know about Live in Bulgaria, but it was not really released as a DVD or anything.
And I think in Chile there was an illegal recording.
I have that one
there by the TV station. You couldn't really stop them. And I think there's another couple of things, but really, I just enjoyed being the singer.
Yeah,
I've got a fantastic manager in Iron Maiden, and it's not something that I was really that worried about. I just did my best each night. I enjoyed it. I was living my dream, and that was a start for me. I'm living my dream now. I've done 3 live albums, 4 maybe live albums of different sets. All right, that set that live set that I particularly liked, I've made it into an album along the way, and it's just normal for Maiden to record live things, and they do try and put things out, but they've got a great manager, and I think when they feel it's time to do live stuff, they do. I don't know what they've got in the vaults that's got me on it. So I wouldn't be able to say anything about that. And it's 25 years ago, man. 25 years. I've made 12 studio albums since then. Blaze Bayley albums. I've made another 2, 3 Wolfsbane albums. I've made live albums since then. I've done live DVDs. So I don't think too much about those times and what those guys are doing. I go and see the guys when I can. I went to see Steve and British Lion, and looking really, really good. And I went to see the guys last time they did Download here in the UK. I went to see them. So, still friends, and there's no hard feelings. I was treated very well by the guys when I left the band. And I've always been friends with Bruce. Before Maiden, Bruce was a bit of a Wolfsbane fan, and we met up before when I was in Maiden. Bruce Dickinson, very supportive. And after Maiden, with my solo career, with my Man Who Would Not Die album, Bruce had his own radio show. He got me on there. And
so what is next for Blaze Bayley then? I've heard you saying that there will be a new Wolfsbane album sometime soon. Is it still on? Is it
We are hoping to release in June this year a new Wolfsbane album, and we just managed to get a bit of time together where the four of us could be in a room with the appropriate, rules in place. And that's when the magic happens. When you get the four guys in Wolfsbane into a room, sparks, things happen. And we've got an album that's more Wolfsbane than Wolfsbane. And it's crazy. And we're listening now to the rough mixes and finishing off a little bit here and there. Jace Edwards is producing it. He's recorded the whole thing in his studio. And so far, the rough versions sound fantastic. So I'm very, very excited about that. Should be available to stream on most of the digital platforms. And the hard copies, the CD and the vinyl will also come out. And we do a little tour in June, I think it is, in the UK. And it's very, very exciting. So if you know any Wolfsbane albums, then you'll listen to the new Wolfsbane album and go, blimey now, it sounds even more Wolfsbane and Wolfsbane. And in the end, it's not my band, it's a band. And I'm a member of the band. And everybody in Wolfsbane, we all have an equal say. It's not my thing, it's a band thing. And that's where the magic is, really. I don't write all of the lyrics. Jeff Haitley writes a lot of the lyrics. And Jace Edwards also writes, and we all write together and chip in, and Steve Danger has a lot to do with the music as well. It's a crazy situation when we get together. So if you're familiar with All Hell's Breaking Loose at Little Kathy Wilson's Place, and Downfall the Good Guys, and the White Album, and the first album, then it's the original lineup from the first album. And we're still the same guys, just as crazy as we always were, doing things that we probably shouldn't do, but we always have done and we won't stop doing.
This is awesome. Absolutely amazing to hear that. And you mentioned that it's going to be released on vinyl, just as like your previous album, Blaze Bayley's Were Within Me. And I get asked that I'm a huge vinyl collector, right? I have all the possible vinyl records you can possibly imagine. And whenever something new comes out, I always get it. But what do you think keeps those crazy vinyl maniacs going in 2022 when everything is available online? Why do people still cling to this idea of holding a physical piece of music?
Well, first of all, I think as the nerdy geeks that we are as heavy metal fans, we don't really feel we have the album, or I don't anyway, until it exists with a little bit of plastic and silver, or
whatever it is.
And then they lied to us. It's my belief that the industry, when they came up with the CD format, they lied to us, and they conveniently omitted a few details about the difference between CD and vinyl, which further down the line, now I'm a record producer and I'm talking to the people that do the mastering and everything. My vinyl has a special master that the mastering engineer, Aid Elmsley, gives to me. And he goes, right, that's your master for your CD. Okay. And this one is this is much bigger. That's the master for your vinyl, because actually you can fit more information on the vinyl than you can on the CD. Oh no, they told us this was the clearest, best thing available, and it wasn't true. And they said you can drive your car over your CD, it'll still work. I didn't drive my car over my vinyl. Oh, you can put it in the freezer. I never used to put my records in the freezer. Who did? It's insane. And but for some reason, they got us on this. And then we get our vinyl back out, or after years, we go, oh, actually, it sounds quite a bit different. Oh, I think actually it sounds better. And for some reason, I think just the nature of the needle in the groove, that is something very, very special in the physical world. It feels like with the vinyl, then I spoke down the mic, I moved that magnet, and everything then from that moment is connected until the needle touches the vinyl and it's revealed. I'm not turned into ones and zeros and binary. It feels connected. And for me, that's a very special feeling. It's not a laser, it's not decoded. There's no digital audio decoder. So that's why I think, anyway. And just vinyl, hold it in your hands. It's so big and the artwork's so wonderful.
All right, so it sounds like everything is kind of cyclical in the world of music. And you, of course, started your career in the mid-'80s when, rock and heavy metal were the hottest thing, right? And then came the '90s, which realistically weren't really the best decade for traditional heavy metal, singular of which you, of course, are. And yet, despite anything, metal has prevailed. And, it is, in a way, experienced in its second revival today, because realistically, I mean, where is grunge today?
So why do you think that happened? Or if you don't agree, do you think that there is no such thing as metal revival?
Well, for a few of us, metal never went away. And we didn't want grunge. And I think largely the journalists said, this is the next big thing. And when I was in Wolfsbane, we're happy-go-lucky guys trying to be positive and enjoying life. Grunge comes, they're all looking at the shoes, they're miserable, they're suicidal, the opposite of Wolfsbane, and the opposite of a lot of bands at the time. So the people that really loved this music, carried on. There's something about it. And grunge had its place, but it didn't last. Those bands didn't really last. I think it's a difference in values. Metal isn't really getting bigger. It's just slowly going now, and we refuse to let metal go. And when you see metal live and you see a band that believes and plays well, it's irresistible. It is the devil's music. We know that because it's completely irresistible, and you'll do anything to hear more of it. So that's why I think metal is something that grips you in a certain way. It transcends fashion. If things go in circles, well, I've been unpopular and unfashionable for most of the 35 years that I've been going, but I'm still going. So I'm trying not to be popular and not to be fashionable. And then my music, my brand of metal will just keep going. And every so often, every 10 years, there'll be a little bump where people, oh, Blaze Bayley. And then I'll go down, and then I'll just be where I was before. The most important thing, man, is that it comes from the heart. And there's something about metal that absorbs me, transforms me, takes me out of the normal world and away from my everyday problems. When it's great, to me, when it's done well by masters, then metal is absolutely the best music. When it's done badly by people who just take every cliche and don't do anything original, it's the worst music. And this is the curse that we have in heavy metal. It can be the best and it can be the worst. And sometimes it can be on the same album.
And when it comes to, traditional heavy metal, and especially about the founders of metal, who were the greatest inspirations for you as a metal singer when you were, on your journey to become, a musician?
I think Bon Scott from AC/DC, his style of talking, making me feel as if he's actually talking to me. And he's having a conversation with me in a song. That was a big influence. Ronnie James Dio was incredible. Changed my life seeing Ronnie James Dio for the first time. That's what made me want to be heavy metal singer. And a lot of other people, Bruce Dickinson, a little tiny bit maybe. It's just the best, most amazing vocalist in music, not in heavy metal, but in music. Bruce Dickinson is one of the greatest vocalists and should be, if there is any justice, remembered as one of the best vocalists that's ever lived, alongside somebody like Pavarotti and people like this. And yeah, a lot of things I picked up along the way. I was just lucky, I suppose.
Yeah.
That I saw good singers. I've always been interested in proper singing, and I'm not a naturally talented singer. I love to sing, and so I learned to sing. And if I had a problem or couldn't do something, I'd go and find a tutor, have a few lessons, take that on board, then go away, do my own thing, and then I'm not quite doing this. I'd like to be able to then go see another. And then over the years, I've incorporated all these little bits into my own style, and that's what you hear on War Within Me album. You hear Blaze Bayley, the version that has come through all these twists and turns and all these big lessons. Working with Steve Harris and the guys in Maiden, and particularly with Steve in the studio, I found myself doing things that I'd never done before. Steve Harris, as a producer, found parts of my voice that I didn't even know were there. And so it's like finding an extra third of my voice. And since then, since those two albums, that brief 5-year period, I've learned my voice. I've learned who I am. My values are different. And now on the War Within Me album, I have a degree of control over a much bigger voice that I can say, I want this particular sound on this lyric against this chord. And that's just what I've learned along the way. And I think Eric Adams from Manowar, just incredible. A huge influence on me. I went to Manowar concert in Birmingham Odeon and queued up afterwards to get a signature. And I said to Eric Adams from Manowar, I'm starting out as a singer. Can you give me any advice? And he said, try to breathe like a baby. That's the advice I got. Newborn baby breathes here in the tummy. And as you grow, you forget that. And you know what? I took that advice. Years and years later, I'm in Italy. We're doing Gods of Metal. I'm way down the bill with Blaze Bayley. And they're headlining, but I'm sticking around. And they were in the catering. And I just went over. I said, I don't want to disturb you guys, but I was there in Birmingham Odeon. And you saw my tickets. Wow, man, that's such a long time ago. And I had all my CDs with me because it was days before downloads. And I had a case full of CDs. I had like 10 Manowar CDs. And they signed all my CDs for me. And get this, right? they gave me a world tour pass, and I could stand. I was the only one standing on the side of the stage next to the monitor engineer looking at Manowar. I was practically on stage with Manowar.
When was that?
You have to look it up, man. I can't remember anything. I was drinking back then, you know.
Could you share with us just one craziest story which happened to you on a road with either of your bands?
Well, I think it was Ukraine. It wasn't Lviv, though, I don't think. It was a smaller gig.
Maybe?
And a guy came to the gig with a bucket, came to the signing. I'll do my little signing after every show, do my signing. And a huge fan, a very, very sorry, I can't remember his name right now. And he bought me a bucket of crabs. And he said, Blaze, I got these in the Black Sea this morning. Oh, what? It was incredible. So, yeah, man, that's one of the craziest things that ever happened to me. But crazy things do happen to me. You know, on our last tour that I've just done of the UK, last September, then playing a small place, but, you know, we liked it. And it's all the COVID regulations and everything. While we're on stage, someone broke into the dressing room and stole the beer.
Seriously?
Yeah, stole the beer, right? And I'm like, where's the beer? I don't drink at all now, you know. And but for some reason, the promoter put non-alcoholic beer on the rider. So these guys had broken in, got the beer, they were drinking it. It was alcohol-free, and it wasn't even my beer. So that's a crazy thing. But, you know, I'm not sure if we'll go back to that venue again because the dressing room should have been more secure. But, yeah, I thought, why are those guys? And then later, it made sense. They'd been in the dressing room and they were drinking our rider. But they thought they were drinking, you know, strong beer. It was alcohol-free beer.
This is awesome.
You never know what's going to happen, man, out here. You just don't know. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
Absolutely. Well, Blaze, thank you so much for those stories. I just hope that you and all the other heavy metal bands will be able to hit the road once again properly, you know, this year, and all this madness will be, you know, behind us. All right, Blaze, as you can see, I can literally talk forever, but I think it's time for us to wrap up. So thank you so much for your time. And any last message for the fans? Anything you want to share?
Thank you for your support, everybody. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for getting the War Within Me album. And I really hope that I can come back on tour soon. But to my fans everywhere, thank you for all the incredible support you've given me through this time and getting me going. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Blaze Bayley, everyone. Thank you so much, Blaze. Keep rocking, man.